This man met the woman of his dreams, but it didn't go the way he planned.
When I was 26 years old, I fell madly in love with a woman I would later get engaged to, only to find out she was cheating on me during the engagement and also had an abortion with someone else's kid. Damn! At the time, I just made my first six figures and I was living a very fast life in LA. So I went to Paris to reset. My very first day in Paris, I encountered my ex-fiance. What intrigued me about her was that when she asked me where I was from, I told her that I was Cameroonian, but I lived in LA. And she says, well, I love Cameroon. I rarely meet Cameroonians in America, let alone non-Cameroonians that love Cameroon. So I'm asking her, what does a girl as pretty as you do in Cameroon? She said she was there volunteering. At that exact moment, I knew I had to take her out on a date. So that week, we went out for dinner. After dinner, we were just like two peas in a pod, spending every day together. The very next week, we were taking a trip to Italy. We actually took this photo in Venice. And we had the very typical European love story. We went to Italy, went to Amsterdam. We were just parlaying every single day in Paris. It was a great time. By the time the trip was over, I knew I wanted to spend more time with her. So when I got back to America, I invited her to come to Christmas. I would buy her ticket, and I'd also buy my family tickets. And this is the first red flag. When I purchased her tickets, and I purchased my family tickets, her friend told us that she needs to submit an ESTA so that she can come and visit. Now, an ESTA is a visa for any non-American tourist. Long story short, the ESTA was denied. Now, at this point, I realized either I have to give this woman up, or I need to actually fully lock in and invest, because I either would be spending thousands of dollars to travel to Paris and coming back and forth, or essentially I can go ahead and just get engaged to her, we can get married, we can have a good life. I knew at that time there was no other woman I ever felt this strongly. And here's what happened next.
Now, to me, this story is crazy so far. You meet a chick out of the country, y'all have a great time, traveling to different places. Like he said, he's never felt this way about a woman before, but because she got her visa denied, you now have to make a decision if you want to keep this long distance thing going or marry this chick and bring her to the United States. That to me is probably the dumbest reason to want to marry a chick. And I don't even know how long they've been dating, but to me, his whole decision-making process was way off because he left out option 3. You chalk it up to what it is and you move on with your life. Any woman could be great when you're traveling and going to different countries. You do not make a lifetime decision like marrying somebody based on a honeymoon, whirlwind type vacation love story that you guys had. That's crazy, but let's continue.
When her ESTA was denied, she could no longer come to America, and that's a very rare occurrence, especially for a French citizen. So it's either I can get engaged to this woman or I gotta walk away. And I was just so madly in love, we decided, let's get engaged.
You. Are you dumb?
So we started applying for the K1 visa, and here's our applicant photos. Now, a few months later, I'm going to Paris, I proposed to her, and the very next month it was my birthday, which she forgot. The reason being, I have 2 birthdays. I was born April 11th, but my birth certificate is May 21st due to government issues in Cameroon, and the government just changed my birthday. But nonetheless, that's something I'm very adamant about with any woman I'm dating. So when she forgot my birthday, I told myself there's no way I just made the right decision.
I could have told you that without the birthday.
And I'm seeing the second red flag, but nonetheless, I'm already committed to the decision. I'm trying to make it work. So I was supposed to go to Paris a few months later, but at the time, my business all started taking off. So every single month, I'm getting more clients. It's putting a big burden on me financially because although I was getting more clients on the front end, I wasn't getting paid until months later. So although I wanted to go to Europe immediately, I had to push the date back so that my business could continue to flow. At the same time, I understood the fact that I'm taking on an alien fiance. Once she's in America, she can't work. So the financial pressures of me protecting this relationship and maintaining it, everything is on me. So I had to push my date back a little by little. But I was hoping that the fact that we're both in love should be understanding of what was going on, especially the fact that I was keeping her updated and very transparent. Gentlemen, second lesson, if you're having any type of financial struggles, you do not need to be getting married, engaged to any woman. If you cannot do it effortlessly, if you need any type of economic help from a woman before you get married to her, it's not going to work.
Brother, I don't think your situation was going to work either way, but I understand what you're saying. You do want to have your finances and stuff in order before you make that type of decision. But let's continue.
After months of pushing the trip back, she calls you one day and says she wants to end a relationship.
All right, so that's the end of it. She dumped him, he went on about his life, and everything worked out.
Wrong. Now, although I didn't feel that motivated because she forgot my birthday, she didn't do the ESTA, I just didn't feel valued in the relationship, I still felt responsible for the state of the relationship, and I knew at that moment I need to fly to Paris to fix it.
Nigga!
So I booked a flight within a few weeks to go to Paris. Prior to the trip, my grandmother told me, if anything feels off, come back home.
My man, she just dumped you. If that doesn't convince you that something's off, I don't know what will.
When I arrived in Paris, I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. I left in 2 days. I was severely depressed. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to leave her house. I didn't want to eat. I just felt completely down, and I knew I had to go. So we decided when I get back to America, we would then decide whether to continue a relationship or to end the engagement. When I got back, we decided to end the engagement. At that moment, I'm severely depressed again. I had to step away from my business because I would just break down in front of people while talking. I didn't want people to see me that weak.
Brother, what does she got between her legs that got you breaking down like a 92 Ford Tempo? I'm confused. Y'all wasn't even dating that long.
I would be driving around the city and I would be crying in my car.
You gonna cry in the car?
So after months of no contact, she reaches out to me on my birthday, of course, and we start speaking. So I'm thinking, you know what? There's hope. You know, this is a moment to where we can rekindle.
Hope? Rekindle?
You're living in the past, man.
Dude, you had a fling. That's all it really was. And on top of that, the girl dumped you twice, man. You gotta let this go.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
And she tells me she's actually going to be going to Mexico for one of her friend's birthday. So I'm telling myself, well, if you're going to Mexico, that's really close. We've had all these visa issues. I can just meet you in Mexico.
So you're slacking on your business, your money funny, you're depressed, you're not feeling good, but you want to run to Mexico to meet up with this chick. I don't know what this lady got between her legs, but I don't want none. Because if it's going to have me fiending like Jodeci, I'm good.
But she says, no, I'm not ready to see you yet. Don't come to Mexico.
And then she didn't even want to meet you in Mexico. Brother, this girl gave you more warning signs than a car with engine problems.
No problem at all. So then later on that summer, minding my business, I'm in Arizona, Lake Havasu. And I'll come across this paper at a random diner that was given to me by an old white man sitting down. He says, hey son, it's going to be a very long wait. Here's a paper so that you can have something to read during the wait. I said, okay. When I picked up the paper, it said in big bold letters, spend the summer with my ex-fiance. And it brings me to this next phase of my life.
So you're over this chick, you're doing good, but now you're in Arizona and some old white dude gives you a paper that says spend the summer with your ex. And that puts your head first right back in it. Is that what you're saying?
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Lake Havasu is an oasis in the middle of the desert. So when I came across this paper at a random diner given to me by a random older white male, and it said in bold letters, spend the summer with my ex-fiance, I knew that was God giving me a sign. I need to go right back to Paris.
This mother right here.
Because at this time, I'm still lingering. There isn't closure in our relationship. I'm still thinking we have a future. Because once again, this K-1 visa is still processing, so there's still some light. So I booked a ticket to go to Paris, and I was trying to surprise my ex-fiance about it. But it was so hard to get her on the phone. When I finally got on the phone, she says, I need to tell you something. When you want to see me in Mexico and I told you no, the reason was I had an abortion. So I'm like, you had an abortion? Like, who kid could it be? Because, I mean, I trust my pull-out routine, and I just don't recall having any type of close call the last time we were together. And she admits that it was the guy she met a month after our relationship. He was a mutual friend of theirs that would be in a friend group that they were all connected to.
Really? Really, dude?
So I said, okay, no problem. As long as you stop talking to the guy, I'll still come to Paris.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
He said, yes, absolutely. I'm done talking to him. So I go to Paris, and I'm there thinking that we have a chance. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to, see what was wrong. But in that exact moment, she told me she was not faithful. I should have walked away. But for a lot of men, especially if it's your first time getting cheated on, you're going to sit there and try to fix it. As men, we're always told, any issue we deal with, it's our fault. But I'm telling any man right now, if you have a person and they're not faithful to you and you find that out, leave immediately.
Brother, I appreciate that G.I. Joe message you just gave us.
Remember, it's better to tell the truth.
And that's no lie. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Most of us already knew that. We're not dumb enough to stay around after a girl cheat on us. You did that. Not only did she cheat on you, she got pregnant and then had an abortion. And you took her back without hesitation. So again, I appreciate that message. There are some men out there who need to hear it, but it's not a lot of us because we already know.
When I fly back to Paris, this time I'm getting the red carpet treatment. She booked us a nice boutique hotel. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe now she sees the light. Maybe now the relationship can actually work.
So even after all that, you still believe this thing has a chance?
You was a dummy.
So we're spending time together, and this is actually a moment where I bought her some flowers. I'm buying a girl that cheated on me flowers, the insanity of it all, right? Now, when we were in Paris, one day we were at dinner, and I was asking her, when's the last time you spoke to this guy? She said, I spoke to him prior to you coming. I said, okay, cool. My very last day in Paris, she's in the restroom, and I'm in her room, her phone's on the bed. Something's just eating at me saying, check her phone, check her phone. So I decided to check her phone. I look up this French phrase, ça va, and I vaguely remember the guy's name, and I finally see that his name is there. So I look into the messages. Now she says she met this guy a month after we broke up. We broke up in January, so I'm expecting the messages to start in February. But I'm in January, then I'm in December, November, October, September. I found out in that exact moment she was cheating on me within 6 months of us getting engaged. I thought I was heartbroken before, I'm heartbroken again. And when I admitted to her that I saw it, at first she was actually angry at me. She was trying to make me feel guilty for discovering it. But then she went through the cycle of the guilt, and then she had the acceptance phase, and then she was sorrowful. And you would think at that moment I would still walk away, but no, I still tried to fix it.
Hey, boy, ain't no f***ing way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Because in my mind, the moment I got engaged, I was a married man, so I wanted to conduct myself in that manner. But as you guys can see, it wasn't possible. And a few months later, we just decided to completely end it.
A few months later?
And it was just never contact each other again. And from that moment, I built this entire channel. I built Trust Fund Baddies Only from learning that if you have a woman that is depleting you of your resources, she's not building with you, she's not bringing any value add, you have no reason to be with her. And that's why it's Trust Fund Baddies Only. So if you're struggling with your love life, you had a bad breakup, you want to overcome it, DM me app. I will help you not only transition through the bad breakup, but also find your new self. And to not just become a new self, but become the best version of yourself so that you can align with your ideal woman. Trust Fund Baddies Only.
Now, I know that was pretty long, but I wanted to play the whole thing so you can hear everything this young man went through. Now, I had a lot of issues with this story because there were so many mistakes made. And the biggest mistake of all is making that bigger than what it should have been. To me, that was a fling. That was something you do, you enjoy, and then you come home and you talk about it with your friends and you leave it there. He tried to turn that moment into something special. He tried to make it last forever like Keith Sweat. I honestly believe he got caught up in the same thing that happens to a lot of women, where they get caught up in that whirlwind romance and they believe this is their end-all be-all. And it really isn't. It was just a fling. It should have been just that. Y'all live in different countries. You flying back and forth to Paris had to be expensive. She can't come to see you because for whatever reason her visa got denied, and you're trying to build a life with this woman when you're on different parts of the planet. I am not saying this is impossible. I've seen it happen before. People go overseas, meet a girl, and things work out great. But I'm talking about this situation specifically. There were so many red flags, so many reasons to not keep pushing forward, and you kept pushing forward. I keep saying there had to be something between that lady's legs to keep him pushing forward like that. I believe when she first opened her legs, this is what it must have looked like. It was a glow or something coming from under them covers. I don't know what was going on down there, but the point I'm making is that there was a lot of reason for this man to bail, and he did not bail. He did this to himself. And this is what I mean when I say men are accountable, because he even admitted that he made these mistakes. Nobody is denying that this is his fault. I don't blame that girl for this. She was going to do whatever she was going to do. He put himself in that crossfire. She was trying to get rid of him. She told him it's not going to work, dumped him. He kept coming forward. She told him the second time, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. He kept pushing forward. Even later on when they got back together and he said, hey, let's meet up in Mexico. No, this isn't a good time to meet up in Mexico. Now, I believe personally that's probably when she was pregnant and she didn't want him to see that. Either way, she gave you every reason to back up and you didn't. You kept pushing forward. I understand there are a lot of people out there that say you got to go after what you want, but not this hard. Not this hard. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And sir, you did not fold them. You did at the end, but you should have folded them a long time ago. And the whole thing about that man handing you a newspaper and that was your sign to keep pushing forward. Well, how did that work out? How'd that work out? This is why I have to ignore stuff like that. That wasn't no special message. You made it into a special message because that's what you wanted it to be. You got to stop doing that. You got to start using common sense. That girl gave you no reason to believe that you needed to keep doing things that you were doing, and you kept doing it. I have no idea how much money you spent. You said your business started suffering because of this chick, which if you did bring her over here, that wasn't going to be good because you had to support her fully when she got here. And if you guys would have made it to the point where she was able to get her visa and come over here and she would have married you, all she was probably going to do was divorce you and take half your money anyway, sir. You need to be happy that this happened when it did. And then the whole thing about, oh, I just met this guy a little bit after we broke up.
You lying ass.
The girl was talking to this dude the whole time. So she was full of it, and you were so in love because you turned a fling into a relationship that shouldn't have made it that far. Now, like I said earlier, I do want to give him credit because he acknowledged that he made the mistakes. This is all on him, and because of that, he started his own website helping other men in this situation. I put it right there on the screen if you guys want to go check it out. Maybe he can help some other dudes go through it. I do believe in certain situations, the best person to help you with something is the person who's been through it, and this man went through it, like really went through it. So y'all can go check him out. And I'm speaking to the brother right here. I'm not clowning you. You made a lot of mistakes here. I'm just talking about those mistakes. I love the fact that you're smarter now, and because of that, I can't see you putting yourself back in a situation like this again. So I'm pretty sure the next time you're in that situation, you're gonna approach it like Teddy P. You chalk it up, you learn from it, then you move on, just like everybody else who's been in that situation.
Looks like another love TKO.
Please like the video and leave a comment. I love listening to what you guys have to say. And don't forget to hit that hype button because it really helps me out with the algorithm and I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.